is a leader, the boy's a player, he doesn't see her, you're not making money, boy.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Simply Les here, back with another video. So yeah, I got a little mic here, so hopefully y'all can hear me. Like, is this thing on? Like, is this thing on? But so as y'all can see by the title of this video, y'all can see me look. I'm looking at that mirror that's right there. But as y'all can see by the title of this video, I am going to be doing a like biggest life lessons I learned in my 20s. So I am currently 23. Yeah, I'll be forgetting my age sometimes, but I am I'm about to say 33. I am 23 years old. Obviously I still have a lot more to learn. I'm still growing, I'm still learning. I wrote them down here on my map book. They're like 7 key points that I've learned, the biggest lessons I've learned in my 20s, even at 23 years old, because I feel like, even though like I'm still young, like I'm still, I still experience some stuff. And I think this is like the main key points, especially when it comes to like young adults. And so I feel like it's very, very important to make a note of. So first one is you don't have to have it all figured out. That's number one. So that's one of like, I feel like everybody who are in their 20s, or early 20s, or even 30s, like you don't have to have it all figured out. Like life, like sometimes I feel like because of social media, it's so hard not to think that way, because like we're so used to like, social media and like seeing people, 19 have my apartment, or 18 have my apartment, or 18 I got my big girl job, and blah blah blah. So when you pass that, like I guess like age limit of 18, 19, or when you're like 23, 24, now you're just like, oh, like I gotta do, like I gotta have this, like I have to have the best house, I have to have all of these things. And it's just like, you don't have to have it all figured out. It's hard to think that way, and I blame social media. Social media is partially a part of it, because like, and also because of how we were brought up, especially with Gen Z. We're also always told by like the older generation, like especially in like elementary school, they used to be telling us, oh, you need to know what you want to be, like you need to know what you want to be, so when you go to college you don't have to be worrying about what you want to do, how you want to do it, blah blah blah. And it's just like, so that is like a part of it too, like it's ingrained in our brain, like, okay, we have to be a certain age to reach a certain amount of success. And obviously that's not true. I just feel like as young adults it's important to know that, especially if you're like 20, like you still have everything figured out, like you literally just turned an adult. I always be telling people, like, if you're 18, like you're not an adult. I feel like 18, 19, it still has the word teen in there, so you're not really an adult. Like I don't consider that an adult. I guess that's very controversial, because like a lot of people are like, I'm 18, I'm 19, I'm grown. Like, yeah, to a certain extent. Like, yes, you can drive, you can probably have your own apartment, yes, but you still can't drink. You still can't drink. You still can there's a lot of stuff you can't do at 18 still. Like I feel like 21 is like a real adult, but at the same time it's like you're still young, so you're still trying to figure out how you want to maneuver, how you want to like, I just feel like I said, it like predates all back to like um growing up, elementary school and all that type of stuff, where all you hear is, oh, what you want to be when you grow up, what you want to be when you grow up. And that's all you hear. So you feel like if you say, you feel like if you say one thing, like, okay, let's say elementary school, because when you're young in elementary school, like obviously you're going to say, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a doctor. You're just saying it because, like, whatever, because you're a kid. But that doesn't mean that it's gonna stick. And I feel like, especially parents and like other people that you go around who are like older than you, or who like already lived their life, they hold you to that standard. But like, remember you said you wanted to be a doctor? Remember you said you wanted to be a lawyer? And it's just like, I was a child. Like, this is like, I'm growing up. Like, I have sense now. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was younger, it was easy to say doctor, but when you actually go through it, you have to go through nursing. If you want to be a nurse, nursing school, all of that is like time and effort that you have to study, that you have to put in. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're a kid, you can easily just say, I don't want to be a doctor, because you're like, you're a kid. You're not really thinking about like all the hard work that you have to put in to get there. So it's like, and so yeah, I feel like that's one of the things that I've learned, is that I don't have to have it all figured out. I used to think that, because like I'd be like, I'm 22, I'm 23, I gotta have my apartment, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. And it's just like, no you don't. Like, no you don't. Like, I'm not saying like to sit down and not do anything, but it's important to slow down and just know that, just because you see other people, everybody's life is different. And I'm gonna get into that whole like comparison thing, because I feel like that's very important too. Next point is stop comparing. That's literally my second point. I'm glad that I said that, because that just eased its way right into it. So stop comparing yourself. I feel like, yeah. So my thing, it ran out of storage. Like I said, this is ease its way right into what I was saying about, you don't have to have it all figured out. Is when you start to compare yourself. I feel like, as young adults and stuff like that, we like to compare ourselves all the time, because, like I said, going back to the whole like, oh, I'm 19, I got my first apartment, look at me, you know what I'm saying? And then you think that because you passed that 19 mark, or because you're 22 now, you're just like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? It's just like, I'm telling you, it's not the easiest. It's not the easiest at all. But I feel like it's important. It's very, very important that you take a mental note of this, because even if you have to write it on a sticky note and put it up on your wall, do that, because I feel like it's so, so important as young adults to know that comparison is literally stealing your joy. It steals your joy. It really drains you, because I feel like, God all has us on different paths. We all have different purposes in life, different paths in life, and we're not on the same path, and not everybody's going to take the same route. Not everybody's going to take the same road. Sometimes, what I'm saying, you see someone who's an entrepreneur, and you also want to be an entrepreneur, and then you see them and they take this route, or they did this, and this is how they got there. Just because you both are they're doing the same thing, and you also want to do the same thing, you guys are both doing the same thing, doesn't mean that what they did is how you're gonna get there. You probably are gonna take a different route and be like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like it's very important for us to not compare ourselves, because, we might have same interests in things, but doesn't mean we're gonna, basically what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't mean that we're gonna be on the same path to get there. Next point is quality time alone, prioritizing alone time. I feel like for me, like as a ambivert, like I'm like that is in the middle, where I'm like introvert, extrovert. Sometimes I like to like be alone. Sometimes I like to be with people. Most times with people, but I feel like having that alone time is very, very important. You know yourself, getting to know who you are, and getting to know who you are in Christ. Um, just getting to know who you are as a person, and just like, I feel like that's very important to know who you are, because once you know who you are, nobody can tell you who you are. Nobody can tell you nothing. And I don't mean that in a self-righteous way or in a, conceited way, but in a way that, you know, is in confidence that you know who you are. So nobody has to tell you anything. Nobody has to tell you who you are and how you must look and how you must dress and all that type of stuff, because you know who you are within, and you just know who you are. And I feel like having that alone time definitely gives you time to experience that, and also like just have growth, period. So I feel like that's very, very important to prioritize alone time. My next point is to stop telling people everything. Stop telling everybody your plans. Stop telling everybody what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, blah blah blah. One thing I've learned in life is that I am a talker. I love to talk. Um, I realized that about myself a lot, and there's nothing wrong with talking, but I feel like you have to know when to speak and know when to just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's very, very important to know that, because you can speak at the wrong time, and whatever you spoke to someone, especially if you told them something in confidence, they can always use that against you, or they could bring up something that that you're working on yourself in the inside, and they bring that up as like a, like knowing that that's something that you're working on, or knowing that this is something that you struggle with, or whatever the situation is, whatever it is. Like, I feel like it's very, very important to not tell everybody, your thoughts and your plans. Like, even like if you have friends, you think y'all besties and all type of stuff. Like, I don't like, I try to like limit my like who I tell my business to, because I feel like, or what I'm going through or whatever, because I feel like not everybody needs to know, because not everybody has the same. Yes, I feel like it's very important, because, especially on Instagram, like I feel like Instagram is just a place for just like monitoring spirits. Like, people just be watching you to see where you're gonna fail, what you're doing, all to just be like, you know what I'm saying? But they don't really like support you. They don't really like, you know what I'm saying? They're just there to watch. It's not really like a genuine support there or whatever. So it's just like, I just limit what I post on Instagram, even TikTok, wherever it is. Just like, not, just protect your peace, and just also to just know when to speak, know what to post, know when to know when to hush, and just keep it at a minimum. Even if people are keep asking you, "Oh, girl, what you doing? What you doing?" I feel like that is an example of a monitoring spirit, when they want to know your every move. That's when you're just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why you want to know everything? Like, calm down. But it's just important to just discern, because discernment is very important. So discern, so you can know when somebody is genuinely asking you, like, just to check up on you, or if they is literally just a monitoring spirit, just to like figure out what you're doing in your life, to pray down on your fall, basically. The next point is choosing your friends wisely, choosing your crowd wisely, and who you hang around with and who you associate yourself with. Because the saying, like, you are who you hang around with, you are who you associate yourself with. And I feel like that's very, very important. That I've learned, even not even just in my 20s, but also just like throughout my life period. um Especially growing up in a Caribbean household, it's important to know, like, your parents always telling you, like, you are who you are who you hang around with. Like, I always had the example of, like, if a police catches you, let's say, like, you didn't steal the item, but your friend did, but you were hanging around with them, and then the police end up catching y'all. If that policeman or policewoman, whatever, sees you with that person, they're gonna think that you're a thief too. It doesn't matter if he was like, no, I didn't do anything, I was just hanging out, hanging around with them. It doesn't mean anything, because they're gonna think that you are with them and you are the same as them, because that's who you're hanging around with. But I always keep that example in my mind, because it's important to know who you associate yourself with. And that's why I don't give my time and my energy to just anyone. I try to stay away from certain people who, are very inconsiderate. I do not like inconsistency, and I do not like inconsiderate people. I don't like people, or like, let me don't say I don't like people. Like, I don't like their actions. Let me say that, the action that they're showing, um, pertaining to that. Like, like people, like people who will be saying, oh, they'll do something and then they don't end up doing it. I feel like if you say that you're gonna do something for somebody, keep your word, and like, or just don't say nothing at all. I feel like I have people in my life, friends, whoever, they always say, oh girl, I got you, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna pay this for you, girl. I got you. And then it's just like, and then they don't come through. And it's just like, it's not even just like, okay, you didn't come through, or like you just didn't, maybe you didn't have the money. What it doesn't, that, I feel like that's not the point. I feel like it's the principle behind, like, if you tell someone that you're going to do something, do it. I feel like, because it gives people this expectation that you're going to do something and that you have it covered, because that's what you told them, and they trust you enough and they have faith in you enough that you're going to do that, and then you don't. And it would be different if it was a one time thing, and just like, hey, maybe she just didn't have it right now, or maybe she just, or wherever the situation might be. And it would be different. It's a one time thing. But if it's a continual thing where it's just like, just inconsistent all the time, like friends and stuff, and people who be like, let's say y'all all going out for dinner, whatever it is, like y'all going out for dinner or whatever, and it's just this one person who just, like, out of the blue all the time, just always forgets to bring their wallet, right? And it's just like, oh, I forgot to bring my wallet, but like, it would be different if it's a one time thing where it's just like, oh, I really forgot my wallet, like I really forgot, like, can somebody pay for me and I'll pay you back. But if it's a consistent thing where it's just like out of the ordinary all the time, you're forgetting your wallet every time we go out, then that person is just taking everybody for granted, and that person does not care, and they're just being inconsistent and inconsiderable, um because they just want to do it. They know that, because everybody, when they do things, they just don't do things to do things, they do things for a reaction. So if you know from the jump that, if they know and they see you, like if they know and they see that you don't take, like, you don't take nothing from the jump, like you're being honest, like, hey, don't do that next time, like, I'm being honest with you, like, I'm coming to you as a person, as a woman, as whatever, and I'm telling you, like, what you did hurt me, or whatever the situation is, and y'all talk it out. That lets them know, okay, I can't try that with her, because everybody waits for a reaction, they want to see how you're going to react. So I feel like if you just cut it right there and like set that boundary right there, like, hey, this is like the third time that you forgot your wallet, so please, if you do it again, I'm not your friend, I'm sorry. Like, is done from there. Like, there's no, because I feel like it's very inconsiderate, and I feel like people who do that, they do that on purpose, because they know they're waiting for reaction, they want to see who they can use and who they can manipulate and who they can slide things with. And so it's just like, it's important to choose who you hang around with. It's really, it like, you save so much time, you save so much energy when you just block out those people, because they're not going to help you grow. Like, I feel like people in your life, friends in your life, like, I'm not saying this selfishly or out of selfish ambition or whatever, but I'm saying it like, people are supposed, like, God placed people in your life that's supposed to edify you, that's supposed to, one, bring you close to him as a child of God, and the next thing is to help you grow, okay, spiritually, emotionally. If people are just making you be stagnant and just like doing too much, like the relationship is not edifying, it's not edifying you, it's not edifying them, it's just like, I feel like it's important as young adults, especially in your 20s, because it's like already hard enough to make friends in your adulthood, so it's like, choose wisely. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. See y'all in my next video, and don't forget to smile. Bye.
Yeah. Okay, love you guys. Don't forget to smile.
boy's a liar.